Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Moments Girls Talk Nigeria. We are coming to you from our studio here in Lagos, and today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, a different one. Now, research finds that a lot of men are verbally lashed in relationships, but they're advised to take it as a man. According to the latest data by the National Crime Records Bureau, close to 60,000 married men have actually committed suicide. And this was in 2014 compared to 27,000 married women. As a society, we talk more about the abuse that women face in relationships, but we don't say much about the kinds of abuse that men are faced with and how it actually affects their ego. It's the bitter truth. But today our topic is men in domestic abuse. This is a different one.
It's a very heavy topic, actually.
It's heavy, and I think it's also in so many ways, as much as you know, I hear the statistics. I think sometimes when I think of the fact that, you know, that guys deal with domestic abuse, I'm like, really?
Yeah, you'd be surprised by the number of men who actually are in domestically abusive relationships. I mean, from the cases I've heard, it's more kind of emotional abuse, you know, men being told, you know, why aren't you providing more for the home, or you're not doing this, or you should be doing that. And I think people forget that emotional abuse can just, you know, can be just as damaging as physical abuse as well.
And I completely agree with you. So as much as, and the thing is, like, we're going to be completely honest, and I have to be really, really honest, is that a lot of people are going to be watching this, going to be saying, what are these people talking about? Which kind of abuse does a man go through? Because majority of the time, it is the woman that has the abuse.
Yes, that's true.
But we have heard of the cases where, you know, the guy, he's constantly receiving punches or slaps, you know, or she's always shouting, berating. Those are things that happen in our society, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. And that does, you know, that does cut down the man's self-esteem as well. I think we all kind of tend to, you know, sometimes think of men as these big, strong creatures, and, you know, they're, what does they have to worry about and that kind of thing. But I think that, you know, people do go through things, and, you know, a male ego can be very fragile, actually. So when someone starts berating and putting someone down, it really can have a massive effect on their, you know, psychological mindset.
Yes, yes. But it usually is the woman that receives the abuse.
Yes, but I mean, we'll definitely be getting into all that. Unfortunately, Toke is not here with us today, very sadly, but she'll be back very soon. It's now time for a short break, and we'll be back with our guests. Welcome back to Moments Girls Talk. Our topic today is domestic abuse in men, and we're joined by two fabulous guests. First up is Andre Blaze Henshaw. He is a Nigerian TV personality and, of course, one of the hosts on EbonyLife TV show Men's Corner. He's also an anchor for the Google Digital Skills for Africa training program. And also joining us is Orezi, whose real name is Ese Gine Allen. He's a musician from Delta State. He began his music career in early 2009 and rose to prominence with his song Rihanna in 2013. Welcome to the show.
Hi guys.
Nice to see you.
Thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome. So Andre, Orezi, so nice to have you on the show.
Nice to be here also.
Andre, I have to ask you about Men's Corner, because I watch the show all the time, and sometimes I feel like you guys code your gist. You don't say everything you want to say.
Have you ever seen the movie Fight Club?
Yes.
Yes.
The first rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Okay.
First rule of Men's Corner is no one ever talks about Men's Corner until you're doing Men's Corner.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. You guys have proper protocols in place and everything.
Unless the fellowship is complete, there will be nothing said.
Okay, okay. No problem. No wahala.
It's good to have you guys on the show. Orezi.
Yes.
Now let's talk about Cooking Pot, which you dropped while you were in SA. The reason why I wanted you to come here is because, you know, the whole time you were there, you kept talking about how you really wanted to start doing music for you that had a message. So tell us a little bit about the song.
Cooking Pot was basically a song. I was in the studio. I was in a place where I was trying to make something different. I was watching TV and listening to radio, and it felt like everybody was just sounding the same. Then, you know, I'm also, I take the blame also because I did release a couple of songs also that were more like, you know, the old bum kind of music, and, you know, less positive message. So I was in that position. I needed to do something different and something that had a message. So I had a couple of issues that were very personal to me I want to talk about, which is rape, you know, consensual sex, and drink responsibly, because all these things are kind of intertwined. Like most people get to rape when they're drunk, you know, so it's just like, understand. So I needed to just put it in a song because I had a personal experience with someone that's been raped before, and that's a story for another day. So I just wanted to put that out, and, you know, We as artists and celebrities, we are more like advocates for the society. There's certain things we talk about. So I felt like at this time I need to use my music and say things because I've seen things and things that are happening, especially with the use of nowadays, the use of drugs, you know, unprotected sex. People come from uni every weekend just want to have fun, and you know, people live reckless lives, these young dudes, and under the influence of so many things. I was on a trip 3 weeks ago from Imo to, I think, Port Harcourt to Imo, and I was hearing on the radio about an incident happened in Bauchi, where they had these 2 guys that kidnapped a young girl that was 16 and took her to like a month job, and they violated her. You understand? And it was really serious because they were very serious about it in Bauchi then. But months passed. What else? We don't really get to hear all these things. So
it is really sad.
So
I think
just feel like people need to understand that these things are serious, because for those that have been abroad know what it is when you just hold a woman and not even with her, you know what happens. So Nigeria kind of, I think they don't take it serious, or maybe I'm not aware.
I think they do sometimes, but you know, oftentimes, like in the cases that you've described, where it's maybe someone much older raping someone much younger, which is just absolutely terrible. It seems to be left to families and like vigilante justice.
But there's also that you hear that whole thing that they'll blame it on the devil, or they'll say they should forgive and things.
And the family will now call the guy and say sorry. You know, sorry is never enough.
Sorry is not enough.
Because when you're just sorry and you pat them on the back and they'll do it again.
I totally agree. Our topic today is men in domestic abuse. We're joined by 2 men, so definitely cannot wait to hear your input.
So first thing, do you guys think it's possible for a guy to be in an abusive relationship?
Absolutely.
And he's the victim of the abuse?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, I think so.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Seen that a few times, yeah.
Really?
Tell us about the circumstance, because for me, I'm totally going to be honest, like every time I hear this, I still find it hard to believe. I know that it's very possible, like in terms of the emotional abuse and women slapping and beating them, but I don't know how frequent or how popular, I don't know how often it happens.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong in your perception of that. Men have a traditional role that makes us look like we're invincible. And that's part of the idea of the entire patriarchy, because we look as though we're powerful, we're strong, we're in control, everything falls exactly where we throw it. But the truth is, you're the most disposable member of society. Everything that goes wrong is immediately blamed on your shoulders. You're expected to grow up and look after everyone else. When you fail to do that, your value in society immediately plummets. So there's a lot of things, there are lots of factors that are constantly weighing against you. And from a very young age, you're already told, oh, don't worry, you're going to grow up and you're going to do X, Y, Z. So, yeah, and every time that you take a choice that differs from that, in the slightest, you feel as though you've completely failed.
Okay.
But physical abuse, most recent would be something that happened when I was a lot younger. I lived in a different city, and I had a neighbor who was married. I'm going to try and cloak this so that there's not too much given away. His wife was significantly larger than him size-wise.
Okay.
And one morning, I had just gotten into the running phase of my life then. One morning I come out, I was lacing up to go running, and I heard this sound that, for want of a description, sounded as though someone had smacked a cow with like a flat board or something.
Okay.
But I couldn't figure out where that had come from. And then after a while, I just decided to go running. So fast forward to later in the afternoon, when I noticed that the dude's car hadn't moved and he'd been at home all day.
Okay.
And I was a bit worried, like, okay, why didn't he go? You know, he always goes to work. And then the afternoon, some quack-looking doctor comes by. You know it's a quack doctor when he needs to wear his lab coat in the car and show up.
In a hot sun.
He's trying to prove something. There's a problem.
It's his official doctor uniform.
Very official.
That guy is he's going to poke out your jugular veins at some point. So the guy shows up, knocks at the door, and then my neighbor's husband, the man, opens the door, and the whole right side of his face is puffing.
Wow.
Okay.
And so, you know the old school chopping boards, the thick slab of wood. She had taken that
and smacked it on his face.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And that wasn't the only time. This was just one of many. No, he was average height.
Okay.
But she was, I'd say if he was about 220 pounds, she was maybe
400?
360.
Okay, so
she's
she
a
was
bit
much
larger.
bigger. And about 6'2".
Crazy, wow.
Okay, so that's definitely a circumstance where that's purely physical.
Yeah, but that's it can go that way because of the size advantage, but it doesn't always. Keep in mind that you're taught from a very early age that hitting a woman is wrong.
Yes.
So even when you get into a situation where the person that's striking you is someone that you could very easily jab once and be done with, you're not going to do it because your programming kicks in.
That's true, but do you think, I mean, how rampant do you think this is? Because you just mentioned an incident which was an incident of physical violence, but most of the time what we hear about is a woman maybe just like insulting a man's ego or saying maybe hit me, and it's more verbal.
Have you been in that situation?
Yeah,
how often do you think it's verbal? And how much often do you think it's physical?
In the worst bashing, which is physical, that left me emotionally broken.
Really?
Broken, yeah. So I think it was. I just finished uni then, and I had this girlfriend who finished uni before me.
Oh, you're in for it.
Yeah, so she already started working. Then me, got out of school, did NYC. I said, I don't want to work, I want to be an artist. Then being an artist was not just that was coming out of it for a while, you understand? So, you know, when we are so much in love and we thought you could tolerate each other with everything, and it got to this stage where, as a guy now, things weren't, so maybe sometimes I say, babes, raise me 10K, babes.
So she was getting frustrated with the situation.
Getting frustrated, like I'm going to the studio, I need to go record this song, blah blah blah. I need to do this. And I always had something to do, and I always needed money. You understand? So she would wait when we get to hang out sometime. Then she would just probably just compare me to somebody, and just compare me to another artist that's doing well. I'm saying, what are you doing wrong? Like this guy just dropped a song yesterday, and I'm like, you know, first of all, I'll be like. Normal thing. It's a girl. She's wishing me well. She wish I'm blown and stuff. So I was accommodating for a while, but I felt like she was pounding on too much. Instead of her telling me how I'm gonna be the greatest, that don't worry, you get there. She was the opposite. So
it was more psychological abuse in your case. She was kind of undermining you, putting you down, not making you feel like you could make it.
You know, in man's images, we always like to feel like with the alpha being in that relationship, and the ego means a lot to us.
Of course.
Understand? When you start bashing on the ego, the self-confidence is destroyed. You come out and you can hold your shoulders high. You know, especially when you're coming from being with her and you need to meet up to something else that.
Yeah, what you're saying is really interesting. But you know, in your case, did you feel like you could talk to other people about it? Maybe go to someone and say, "Look, this is how this girl is talking to me, making me feel." Or
like I always have all my friends and I talk about like this girl is frustrating me, blah 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 blah, and they'll be like,
"What was the feedback?" Yeah,
my friends will be like, "Man, if she's saying this to you, blah, I think she doesn't love you," which I know she does love me. You understand?
If it was a situation already where. Because I'm curious to find out, you know, the reason why you're asking that is how open can people be, men, if they're in an abusive relationship, which I want to find out if you are being physically abused or it's really bad emotional and verbal abuse.
How comfortable is the function of what's your relationship with your immediate friends, what you guys can open up to each other and talk about. Like, you know, they're friends and they're friends, understand? So a lot of guys wouldn't want to talk about it outside because you're saying that your partner or your girlfriend is saying this to you means you're a weak guy sometimes. Why you don't tell them? Why would she allow tell you that kind of thing for what? You understand? So most of them would just be like, don't want to talk about it because their friends start looking at them like this guy's a weak guy. And if it's, like I said, if it's your friend that you could open up to, be like, man, what do you think I should do? This is what this guy is telling me every day and I'm tired. I'm sick of this girl telling me this kind of thing that like, I don't know. And you know, at that same time, you don't want to lose her. And you are uncomfortable with the way she talks and you don't want to talk to her. She'll not be like, so you think I'm saying this wrong, like I'm just wishing you the best, but I'm probably not coming out in the right way. You understand? But at the end of the day, in my own situation, I had to sit her down on the long run and say, I don't like this. I don't like this. If you feel I need to be like this person and I'm not there and you're not comfortable, you can like, this is my own goal, this is what I'm chasing. I don't need your negativity to try and bring me back. Like waking up to hear this every time from you doesn't help.
No, I see your point. I mean, but what I find interesting is, you know, because what you're saying, someone could listen to it and say maybe she was just an unsupportive girlfriend, but it doesn't mean she was necessarily an abusive girlfriend. So Andre, I want to ask you, you know, where is the line between abuse and maybe someone just talking to you in a way you don't like or that's just not supportive or not kind?
I think being unsupportive differs from abuse greatly. So an unsupportive person can be selfish or impatient, and that's a character flaw. You can't do anything about that. An abusive person, pardon me, an abusive person goes out of their way to place whatever internal conflicts they have on you as a person, whether that be physical, emotional, whatever. They're going to transfer that as effortlessly as possible. So I'd say in your case, abusive, that might be strong. I mean, I've had women who weren't supportive of what I did, and I got that. Some of us are slow bloomers. I didn't kick off immediately. It took quite a while. And I had women who couldn't hold on for that time, and I understood that, you know? But I draw the line at abuse where it becomes a situation where the conflict that leads to whatever abusive situation pops up is entirely unnecessary. Or could have been handled differently, or could have been mediated, and this person intentionally ignores it. That's a problem.
Do you guys think that, because you find a lot of times, you know, you'll say in situations where the woman is abusive and then the man responds by being abusive, because a lot of people will say that women, they end up getting hit. Some women end up getting hit because of they have bad mouth, or they're aggressive and they are, you know, provoking the man.
You hear that?
What do you guys think about those situations?
With due respect, that's BS. So first and foremost, I'm male, right? I'm average height, average strength, etc. But on any day of the week, a woman who is my size, down to the weights, heights and everything, same age, wouldn't be able to hold both of my hands together like that. So I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to come to a point where I think that hitting a woman is justified. I mean, I'm going to say something completely politically incorrect. You really want to upset a woman? She gets in your hair, get up and walk away. Walk away. Ignore her entirely and walk away. Whatever point you are going to make, she's going to have the time to think that point out by herself. She's not stupid. I completely do not.
But I think for you to get up and walk is the level of your own tolerance. Not everybody has that.
Dude,
everybody has that. Not everybody can.
You're historically trusted to lead society. The very least that I can expect from you is that you're going to be able to get up and walk away when you need to.
At the same time, that comes to you being a being and not being a perfect person. There are little moments that you being imperfect comes to play.
So you think that a woman is able to provoke a man to hit her? So do you think the same vice versa, so a babe can provoke you?
Yeah, I think so. I do think so.
And you can provoke her to hit you?
I do think so.
So you believe you could provoke a woman to hit you, to hit?
For some, at a point in time in my life, a girl has slapped me before.
Wow.
Yeah. Although it's not like the slap was on my face, but I saw it coming.
You're going to fade it out.
Not really.
I saw it coming. I saw it coming. I weaved a little bit, but the tip of her fingers were on my face. And
Orezi.
It's okay. It's okay to say that she left 5 happy fingers on you. It's okay.
Like I said, we're humans. Like anything could happen. There's nothing to be shy about. Like it's normal.
What did you do to make her slap you?
That's what I'm saying. Like I didn't feel I did that much.
Okay.
But she was angry. And I'm just trying to buttress where you said, do you think whatever you say or what you do can make somebody?
And then in that case, is it justified? Is it justified?
Was her hitting you justified? Yeah, that's a good question.
Was it justified? Yeah, I think it was justified.
Me too. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Do you think there's ever a time, Tallulah, where you would feel like it was justified for you to hit a guy?
To me, no. I would never hit a guy. I don't think I'm tiny. I'm like 5'3". So if I hit him and he now gets upset and wants to hit, what am I going to do? I can't fight. So that's my own. That's why I would never hit a guy.
You know, it's interesting. I come from a past of craziness.
Let it out, girl. Say it as is.
You know, I'm a saved and sanctified human being now. But when I was much younger, I had a boyfriend who cheated on me, and I found out he cheated on me with 9 people, and he told me.
Wow. Okay.
He cheated on me with 9 people that day.
And what, he cheated with 9 people in one day?
No. It was over.
That's not cheating. That's the up and smoke tour, man.
Exactly. Do you understand? And basically, we had a long distance relationship. So the whole time we were long distance, he was cheating on me. So me knowing who I am, I wanted to know how many people it was. And he told me. And he told me it was 1 or 2. But then he finally confessed that it was 9 people.
Wow.
And my immediate reaction was to hit him. Do you understand? Like, that was my immediate reaction.
Why?
Because I think there was a brokenness. It was like a, do you understand? Like I told you, like I was coming from a place where I was like, you're crazy.
But you know what's funny, Bolanle? I'm sure once you, like, to me, hearing that you hit a guy, I'm like, but it's not, I'm sure you just went like this, tapped him and it was nothing. Like, to me, see, I can't even think of that as being something abusive.
But you know what's interesting? Do you know what's interesting about it is that?
Because you're a woman.
You'd be surprised.
But let me tell you, what's interesting about it is, you guys, it's a very slippery slope. Because I remember doing it and feeling like, the shock on his face, he was like this,
Like
The whole time.
He didn't feel like you could have ever done that.
He didn't feel like I had ever done that. And I was looking at him like, what did you expect me to do? But it's a slippery slope because I never respected him again after that. There was no way. Like, and also, once you start, like, we didn't stay together, so there was never any opportunity for that. But once you start, it's a very slippery slope because your immediate reaction after anything they do that irritates you would be to hit them.
Yes, because
do you understand?
So you become a primary abuser.
Exactly.
That was actually the same scenario where I got hit.
Yeah.
You cheated?
Yeah.
You should have said it now already. This
turned ugly quickly.
Like I said, I didn't feel it because it's not like she caught me red-handed. She wasn't very sure. It was just a message. Then she first of all threw like a bottle of water on my face. So I was trying to. She went all ballistic. Like I thought there was an evil spirit that came into the building. I'm like, calm down. What's wrong with you? She was next thing.
A bottle of water and a partial slap?
But you know what's actually interesting?
Wait,
you know what's interesting?
Was I supposed to react to that?
Don't let me tell you about angry women.
Well, but you know what's interesting? I have picked up on something within our discussion here. So we're all saying it kind of with jest a little bit. In fact, it's almost like when a woman hits a man, it's never in our mind, or we're conditioned into thinking, it can never be that serious. It can never be that serious. Yeah. But if we're here talking about, women being abused by their spouses, it would be completely different in tone.
But it is unfortunate because it's the way society has done it. Is that because I mean, I don't think you would ever say I was abusive to him because I hit him. But
you were.
I was in a way. Do you understand? Like I hit him. If he had ever hit me, he wouldn't be alive. Do you understand? Like there's no way. So it is the fact that and it's even though people say women are not as strong, it's still really damaging to someone. Do you understand? Like I don't think he could ever look at me like. There's no respect between us anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no respect.
It can be.
So, before we let you guys go, we have a tradition here where we like you to share something no one knows about you. So maybe Andre, you've been hit by a woman before, Andre? But it doesn't have to be anything that has to do with this topic.
The way you're laughing, there's something really deep and intimate you want to share with us. I can feel it.
Oh man, have I ever been hit by a woman? No. Almost injured, yes, but never been hit. So
okay.
No, not that.
So what's your celebrity secret?
Something I do that nobody knows.
Or very few people know.
Or something about yourself, yeah.
I am a closet nudist.
What does he mean by closet nudist?
Like, if I'm in a space by myself and the doors are locked, you can pretty much guarantee within a handful of seconds that my clothes are going to be in a pile in one corner, and I'm going to be walking around with my iPod strapped to my bare arm and swinging everything in sight and walking around the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
So interesting. We've had a few more other people who come on the show and talk about being nudist. I don't get that.
Okay, I think I have something about me.
Okay.
I don't like my rooms arranged. Like if you arrange my room, I like my clothes scattered everywhere.
Like on the floor and all over the place.
Orezi, is that why it took you so long to come out? Orezi used to be the last person to come out.
Like in my room, then you see they're everywhere.
Interesting.
That is so bizarre.
Very, very interesting.
Thank you guys so much for coming and being honest and open. It was a great show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right, coming up shortly, it will be time for In a Nutshell.
Welcome back to Moments Girls Talk. Our topic today is men in domestic abuse. And, Bolanle, in a nutshell, what I learned from our guests is that, whether it's happening to a man or a woman, it needs to be treated just as seriously. It's not something that should be brushed under the carpet. And, I think when we were talking about it at a point, it seemed a bit funny, but for the people who are actually going through it, it's just a terrifying reality. So
yeah,
it does
I completely
need to be
agree with
addressed.
you. And I think it's interesting because I was thinking about my own circumstance where I slapped my ex-boyfriend because he confessed that he cheated on me with multiple people. But the thing is there should never be a situation where you feel comfortable hitting another human being despite how much they disrespect you. Because the thing is, if he had hit me back, he technically would be justified because I hit him first. But then would I say he's abusive?
Exactly.
Do you understand? And the truth about it is I'm the one that was abusive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think it's a situation of maturity. I mean, and this was when I was way younger, but now that I understand that there's relationships about respect and love. So if you love someone, no matter what they do to you or what they say to you, you should never feel that you have the ability to touch them. And this is even in general in life.
I agree.
if someone, you know how some people slap their house helps or their cooks or their, like, I don't understand how you can slap another human being.
I don't understand that.
Do you know what I mean?
Just because they're in your employment doesn't make them your slave.
Exactly.
I hate that thing, actually.
Exactly.
I hate it.
So on that note, pretty much what we're saying is that no to domestic abuse on either party. You know, a woman should never feel justified in slapping a man, and a man should never feel justified in slapping a woman. It doesn't matter what they've done to you. It is just a rule of law that you should not put your hands on another human being. It's disrespectful and it does not show respect on any level. So no to domestic abuse. If you are in a situation or in a relationship that is abusive, we highly recommend that you contact the number that is scrolling across the screen right now, and they will be able to help you get out of that situation. And you can also talk to a friend or a family member. It doesn't matter if you're a man and your girlfriend's hitting you. You shouldn't feel ashamed about that. That is on her. It's not on you. She is the one at fault. So please, please, please find some help and get out of that horrible situation. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Moments Girls Talk Nigeria. We hope that you'll join us next time. And remember,
if you can think it, you can do it.